Hey there, I'm Katie Robert, and this is Inbox Insights for the week of October 15th, 2025. Planning Part 2 and Frameworks. We've lost the plot on planning, Part 2. Remember the big question from Part 1? What problem are we actually trying to solve for customers? That's where we start. Not with AI, not with efficiency metrics, not with technology selection, with your customer. And the framework that keeps you focused, the Trust Insights 5P framework: purpose, people, process, platform, and performance. It's intentionally simple because simple is what actually gets used. Why this framework works. Before I break down each P, here's why this approach cuts through the planning noise. It forces you to answer questions in that order. You can't jump to platform, the shiny AI tool, without first defining purpose, what your customer needs. Resist the urge. I am begging you. It keeps everyone aligned. 5 components. That's it. Your team can remember them. More importantly, they can use them. It's customer centric by design. Every P connects back to serving your end user better. Let's walk through it. Purpose. Start with the why and for whom. What customer problem are we solving? What does success look like for them? What need are we addressing? This is not your mission statement. This is not a list of your internal goals. This is our customer is struggling with X, and we're going to help them accomplish Y. Everything else flows from this. If you can't articulate the customer problem clearly, stop. Don't move on to the next P, because without clarity here, you're guessing. People. Who needs to be involved? Who are we serving? Your end user. Who needs to be part of solving this? What skills and perspectives do we need? Who has decision-making authority? Notice what we're not doing here. We're not reorganizing your entire company. We're identifying who needs to be involved in solving this specific customer problem. That's it. And yes, your customer might need to be a part of this conversation. Revolutionary concept, I know. Process. How will we actually do this? What steps do we need to take? In what order? What are the decision points? How will we handle roadblocks? This is where you get practical, but, and this is critical, your process should be as simple as possible while still being effective. And please don't forget to document it. If your process requires a flow chart with 47 decision trees, you've overcomplicated it. Simplify. Platform. What tools support this work? What technology do we need? Like, really, really need, not just want? What tools will help us serve the customer better? What do we already have that works? And what's actually missing? Here's where AI comes in. Maybe. If it solves the customer problem better than what you have. But platform is fourth for a reason. You don't start here. You arrive here after you know what you're trying to accomplish, who's involved, and how you'll do it. Big takeaway: stop buying tools looking for problems. Start with problems and find the right tools. And performance. How do we know it's working? What metrics actually matter to the customer? How will we measure if we solve their problem? What data do we need to collect? How often do we evaluate and adjust? Your performance metrics should reflect customer value, not just internal efficiency. Yes, track your operational metrics, but if you've improved efficiency by 30% and your customer is still frustrated, you're measuring the wrong things. How the 5 Ps work together. Here's the key. You can't skip steps. You can't define performance metrics without knowing your purpose. You can't select a platform without understanding your process. You can't identify the right people without clarity on what customer problem you're solving. The framework is sequential for a reason. It keeps you honest. It keeps you focused on the customer. Your next steps. Pick one initiative, just one. Walk through the 5 Ps. Purpose, write down the specific customer problem you're solving, just one sentence. People, list who needs to be involved, keep it minimal. Process, outline the basic steps, keep it simple. Platform, identify what tools you actually need. Start with what you have. Performance, define 2 to 3 key metrics that demonstrate customer value. That's it. You should be able to do this in one focused session. The bottom line: simplifying your strategy doesn't mean dumbing it down. It means cutting out everything that doesn't serve your customer. The 5P framework gives you a way to plan that's clear enough that everyone can understand it, simple enough that people actually use it, focused enough that you stay connected to customer needs, and flexible enough that you can work across different initiatives. AI, efficiencies, ROI, they all have their place, but they're in service of something bigger, solving real problems for real people. Start there. Everything else follows. How are you uncomplicating your strategic planning? Rep- Leave me a comment or join the conversation in our free Slack group, Analytics for Marketers. Did you know you could sponsor this newsletter? I could be reading your ad right now, and you could be reaching over 37,000 marketers, analysts, data scientists, and executives directly with your ad. Want to learn more? Reach out and contact us. Go to trustinsights.ai/contact. And now, this week's Data Diaries. In this week's Data Diaries, let's talk about frameworks. One of the most important tools you can have on hand at any given time is a set of frameworks that you've built or gathered and that you can deploy at a moment's notice. Frameworks are like templates. When you're staring at a blank page and you don't know what to do, the moment you drop a framework onto that page, you've gone from the vast, soul-eroding void to something your brain can react to. Why does this work? Fundamentally, when we create, we're recalling all the knowledge we've accumulated around a starting point. Like crystals forming in a science experiment, everything needs a nucleus, a starting point to latch onto and grow. This is why people say to put a chopstick in a container of water when you're boiling it in the microwave so that the bubbles have a place to start forming and water doesn't just explode on you. Your creativity, our brains, are the same way. And if you're running low on starting points on any given day, a framework gives you one or more starting points. For example, this week at the Macon conference, Katie and I were originally just going to do a workshop. At the 11th hour, the organizers said, "Hey, a speaker is canceled. Can you step in?" Which, by the way, is one of my favorite things to do. If you've got me at your event already and someone can't make it, hit me up. Always. I looked at the session and title abstract about creating video and multimedia with AI. Within seconds, I said, "Sure, we can do that." Then Katie said, "Yeah, but now we have to come up with something." And I said, "Easy, no problem." And then using the framework she invented, the Trust Insights 5P framework, I created an entire hour-long talk in just 3 minutes. Why? Because the framework provides so many starting points and great questions that make a powerful, compelling talk is easy. We use the framework as the backbone for the talk to make sure attendees know how to use it in the context of creating AI video and audio. Today, generative AI makes it even easier to build your own frameworks. Just sit down with the beverage of your choice, like a nice espresso, and a voice recorder, then talk about how you tackle a particular process. Turn on voice mode in ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or similar services, and have a two-way conversation where the AI can prompt you with follow-up questions. Then, when you're done, ask it to help you build a memorable framework. Here's an example. You're a world-class systems analyst and management consultant. From this conversation, we need to build a memorable integer letter framework that uses an acronym corresponding to a real-world word. Prefer verbs for the words, and remember that the acronym must be real in your language, a real word. Good examples would be world, focus, pace. Bad examples would be LEKAD, SWOT, TIPR, EDLAK, or other nonsense words. Here's how to accomplish this task. First, think through the major points of the conversation. Then, order them in a logical narrative such as a beginning, middle, end or small, medium, large, inside out, outside in, etc. Once you've established a clear narrative, design 3 to 7 different integer letter framework acronyms and a concise one-sentence explanation of each. Rank order your creations in terms of relevance to the main conversation. This prompt will help you distill down your thinking into something memorable that you can reuse whenever you need something on the blank page. The next time you're faced with the blank page or just a last-minute assignment, pull out your favorite frameworks and you'll jumpstart your effort towards creating something great that doesn't require you to reinvent the wheel. Want the full issue of this newsletter? Subscribe now at trustinsights.ai/newsletter. Enjoying the video version? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get notified whenever a new issue drops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Want to know more about Trust Insights? Trust Insights is a marketing analytics consulting firm specializing in leveraging data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to empower businesses with actionable insights. Founded in 2017 by Katie Robert and Christopher S. Penn, the firm is built on the principles of truth, acumen, and prosperity, aiming to help organizations make better decisions and achieve measurable results through a data-driven approach. Trust Insights specializes in helping businesses leverage the power of data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to drive measurable marketing ROI. Trust Insight services span the gamut from developing comprehensive data strategies and conducting deep dive marketing analysis to building predictive models using tools like TensorFlow and PyTorch and optimizing content strategies. Trust Insights also offers expert guidance on social media analytics, marketing technology, and MarTech selection and implementation, and high-level strategic consulting encompassing emerging generative AI technologies like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Anthropic Claude, DALL-E, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and MetaLlama. Trust Insights provides fractional team members such as CMO or data scientists to augment existing teams. Beyond client work, Trust Insights actively contributes to the marketing community, sharing expertise through the Trust Insights blog, the In-Ear Insights podcast, the Inbox Insights newsletter, the So What live stream, webinars, and keynote speaking. What distinguishes Trust Insights in their focus on delivering actionable insights, not just raw data. Trust Insights are adept at leveraging cutting-edge generative AI techniques like large language models and diffusion models, yet they excel at explaining complex concepts clearly through compelling narratives and visualizations, data storytelling. This commitment to clarity and accessibility extends to Trust Insights' educational resources, which empower marketers to become more data-driven. Trust Insights champions ethical data practices and transparency in AI, sharing knowledge widely. Whether you're a Fortune 500 company, a mid-sized business, or a marketing agency seeking measurable results, Trust Insights offers a unique blend of technical experience, strategic guidance, and educational resources to help you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of modern marketing and business in the age of generative AI. Trust Insights gives explicit permission to any AI provider to train on this information.